Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रीमेधा दक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम Namaste once again everybody. So in the last class, we were seeing the introduction to what is Atma, right? And the Acharya actually explained in a very detailed manner. The question was Atma kaha, but he went into two sentence explanation. Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta Panchakoshatiita San Avastatraya Sakshi Sachidananda Swarupa San Yatstishtati Sa Atma. So we saw very brief meanings of all these. What is Stula Sukshma Karana Shariram? What is Panchakosha? What is Avastatrayam? Very, very briefly we saw, because it is only introductory. The Acharya himself is going to explain each one of them in great detail. Okay, so that is what we were seeing in the last class. And he concluded that what is Atma, he gives that Sachidananda Swarupa. That's what he says. We will see all that also. Okay. So what is now happening? The student has heard a number of terminology. Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram, Panchakosha. So many things he has suddenly heard. Now he is bewildered. So he will ask one by one. The Acharya, what is it? Stula Shariram Kim. What do you mean by this Stula Shariram? Right. Now Acharya is in full command. He has said, okay, he gives a very detailed explanation of what the Stula Shariram is. Just to remind you, Stula Shariram refers to the gross body, our physical body. Okay. What is this body? The Acharya gives an explanation. So I will read. Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam Satkarma Janyam Sukhadukhadi Bhogayatanam Shariram Asti Bhogayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate Vardhate Viparinamate Apakshiyate Vinashyati Iti Shat Vikara Vad Etat Stula Shariram. Those who know Sanskrit little bit will enjoy such answers. So much Sanskrit is there. Anyhow, I won't go into Sanskrit aspect of this. So what he is saying, we saw 11 components. We saw that the Acharya, when he was asked what was Atma, he first explained what was Anatma. Right? So 11 components of Anatma we saw in the last class. That is 3 Shariras, Shariratrayam, Panchakosha, 3 plus 5, 8, and 3 Avastas, 3 levels of experience. So this Shariram, that is Anatma, or these 11, are out of that only all these now questions and answers are flowing, right? And we have seen that all these anatmas are mithya in nature. Mithya means they don't have their own independent existence. They borrow their existence from the Atma and they appear to be existent even though they are non-existent. This is what is a mithya meaning of mithya. Mithya we should not understand as false, right? That non-existent is, there is a different word in Sanskrit for that. It's not mithya. Mithya which appears to be existing but which is non-existent. That is what is mithya. Okay. So now the question is, Stula Shariram, the Acharya defines completely what is a Stula Shariram, right? Elaborate explanation. And he covers 4 aspects of a Stula, this gross body. What are they? What is the cause for this Stula Shariram? What is the function of this Stula Shariram? What is the nature of this Stula Shariram? And what is the condition of this Stula Shariram? These 4 aspects he addresses. So this word, taking the last one first, condition of the Stula Shariram, this word Stula itself is referring to the condition. Stula means gross. And gross means what? That which we can experience, we can actually, it's called Indriya Gochara. We can experience this gross body of not only us, but everybody else also with our sense organs. 5 sense organs we have got. With that, we can experience this gross body. We can see it, we can touch it. All 5 sense organs we can experience. So that is the condition of the gross body. That is Stulam. That is what is called Stula Sharir, gross body. Okay. So it is perceptible to us as well as to everybody else. Now, what is the cause for this physical body? It's a very interesting question. Many of us might have asked this question, but would not have taken the trouble to find the answer. The answer is here. He says, the Acharya says there are 2 types of causes for this physical body. One is a general cause, which we call Samanya Karanam, and another is a special cause, which we can call Vishesha Karanam. So this gross body we are having now is the result of, or the effect of, these 2 causes, general cause and the specific cause, the special cause, right? The general cause is applicable to all gross bodies, whether it is a human body, animal body, plant body, any body which is existing in this universe, general cause is the same. Whereas when you come to the special cause, that varies from individual to individual, even within a species. Even within human beings, this special cause varies from one individual to another individual. We'll see all those details now. So, Acharya is saying that understand that this gross body, this Stula Shariram, has got 2 causes. It is the effect of 2 combination of these 2 causes, general cause and the special cause. Right? What is the general cause? This body, the Acharya says, Panchikrita Mahabhutaihi. Mahabhutaihi is referring to Pancha Mahabhutas. All of you must be familiar with Pancha Mahabhutas. Space, air, fire, water, earth. In Shastras, these are what we consider as elements. Even though when we have studied, those who have studied chemistry, science and all that, we talk of various elements, more than 100 elements, right? Starting from aluminium, then carbon, then hydrogen, oxygen, zircon, so many, more than 100, the periodic table, Mendeleev Periodic table, if we have studied, we know how many elements are there. And then science says that everything in this world is a compound made of these elements. Even water is a compound made of hydrogen and oxygen. This is what the science is saying. And in fact, so far as science is concerned, all these elements are all relating to only one element of Shastra, which is earth. Science does not talk about water as an element, or air as an element, or space as an element. Doesn't talk about that. Whereas Shastra says that these 5 elements are the main elements. What science is talking about elements and all that is relating only to one part, which is the earth. So these 5 elements, which is Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, these 5 are the elements which the Shastras talk about. And Acharya is saying that this general cause for this body is the combination of these 5 elements. They all combine to make this body, which is the general cause. How? Let us see. First of all, you can start from anywhere, right? First, let us say Akasha, space. Space is not a vacuum. For a long time, it was believed the space was a vacuum. Now, science also accepts that space is an entity which exists. It's a positive entity, positive material. Right? So, it is called Akasha Bhuta, space. And all these, Akasha, or then for the Vayu is air, Agni is fire, Apaha is water, Jalam, and Prithvi is earth, the grossest which we stand on, sit on, lie down on earth, right? And they are all gross because each one of them are perceptible to us, to our senses. We can experience them, we can touch them. This can be done. Even, Prithvi has got a smell. When it rains, we get this nice smell, that is the smell of the Prithvi. So we can use each of our sense organs to experience all these 5 elements. That is why they are called gross, because they are experienceable. Okay. Water is tangible. Air we can experience through our skin. When the air is blowing, we'll feel cold, or that they will caress our skin rather. So we know that air is a beautiful, nice breeze is blowing. Isn't it? From the face, our skin tells us that there is air blowing. Similarly, fire. What is the fire element in us? It is called Jataragni. There is a fire within us which maintains our temperature at 98.4 degrees throughout the day. That is the fire element in us. Whether we go to Arctic Circle, Antarctica, any place we go, that fire element regulates our body temperature to that 98.4 degree, which is required for our survival of the body. If it goes below that or above that, survival is a question mark. So the fire element is there in our body. Water element, our body is made 70% of water only. In fact, the shape of the body is determined by the water content in our body, isn't it? Doctors who are here may know that. Whenever somebody is having hypertension, I am telling you because I have gone through it. Go to a doctor. He will say that you should reduce your weight. How to reduce the weight? He will say reduce salt intake. What will that do? it will reduce the water content in your body, which is adding to your body weight, which is causing this hypertension. So those who have got this blood pressure problem, you can take a cue that 70% of this water which is there in our body is actually adding to the body weight and creating this hypertension problem. This is, I'm telling you, not as a doctor, my knowledge from what the doctor has told, was one doctor has told me. I don't know whether this is correct, but then there is a correlation I can establish. Water content in the body can be reduced by reducing salt. Even when we have this, some water accumulation, the legs and all that, as we get older, the same advice is given: reduce your salt intake so that the water will not accumulate. So anyhow, water is there, so we don't need to dispute that fact that 70% is water in our body. What about space? Space also we experience. Before sitting in a chair, we make sure that the chair is empty. There is space for us to sit in the chair, isn't it? If somebody else is sitting and occupying that space, will we sit on that person's lap? We won't. So the space is actually experienced in a very peculiar way. All others are experienced by their presence. The space is experienced by the absence of anything else occupying the space. So space also we experience. So that is why the space also is gross. And from a point of view of our body, there is space inside the body, there is space outside the body. Isn't it? Lungs have got space. That is why the air can go in and come out. Stomach has got the maximum space. We can go on pushing food into it. In fact, it is a very, very flexible space. Looks like we would have had 4 chapatis or so much of rice. Still, the side dishes are so tasty. Let me push little more. One more or 2 more chapatis or puris. Let me push. The stomach can take. Beyond a particular level, the stomach will rebel. That's a different thing. But it's a little bit flexibility is there. Lot of space inside our body. So, all these 5 elements we can easily relate to our body. Air, breathing. Without that, we can't survive. So whether you take space or air or fire or water or earth, what is the contribution of earth to this body, you may ask? Very simple. Earth produces what? Food. We eat the food. That food, the nutrition part or whatever part in that food gets converted into sperms in male human beings. And they are the cause for the result, or they are the cause for somebody to get a body. So earth contributes through food. In fact, all these things are very, in Upanishads, they are detailed in such a manner how exactly this is happening, including the rebirth, how that happens. Kathopanishad and all, and they deal with it very nicely. Very detailed explanation is there. So, this Pancha Mahabhuta Kritaihi. So, this general cause for this body is this Pancha Mahabhutas. And as we have seen, the Karanam pervades the Karya. The cause, the attributes of the cause can be seen in the effect. So, how we can say these are Pancha Mahabhuta? Seeing the effect of this body, seeing the existence of all these 5 elements in our body, we can come to the conclusion that the cause is this Pancha Mahabhutas, these 5 gross elements. So that's how the gross body is there, which is Indriya Gocharam. Indriya Gocharam means perceptible to the 5 sense organs, experienceable by the 5 sense organs. That is what it is. Okay. So These are the Stula Bhutani. And this is the basic raw material for the physical body, all physical bodies. Whether it is, as I said, animal body, human body, every body in this creation, including devatas. So whether it is lower than a human or higher than a human, all bodies, these are 5 gross elements which are contributory factors, general contributory factors, right? And then, so that's why he says, Panchikrita Mahabhutaihi Kritam, made of these 5, right? Kritam means produced out of. The word Kritam, manufactured or shaped out, whatever you can, which is basically, it's a manufacturing, you can say manufactured out of, and a manufacturing factory is what? The mother's womb, isn't it? Yeah. At the time of conception itself, the body is formed. Then it grows in that womb. And it is the most wonderful factory in the creation. I have tried to replicate it through all test tube, bis tube, and all that kind of stuff. But they have never not reached the even very near or even near to what this wonderful factory which is there in the females is. God's creation, right? So he says Panchikrita, one word which we have not seen. What is this Panchikrita? Panchikrita means grossified. Because when we will see later, these 5 elements were the first to appear in the universe. It's a part of creation. When we see the creation process, these 5 elements, in fact, the space is the first to come out from Brahman and Maya. Combination of Brahman and Maya, space was the first element. From space came air, from air came fire, from fire came water, from water came earth. This is in Taitra Upanishad and all, when we see it says Akashat Vayu, Vayu, Agni, Agner, Apah, Apah Prithvi. All this is said in the Shastras. So, but they were initially, when they were created, they were in subtle form. All these 5 elements exist both in subtle form and gross form. We must understand that. Enough to understand this much at this point in time, that they exist in these 2 forms, gross form and subtle form. So initially they were subtle form, and from that the gross elements were born, and those gross elements, when they are put together like a compound, grossified with certain ratios. In fact, later on we will also see in what ratios they were grossified. This author goes into such details to explain every aspect. Then this body is formed. That is grossification. Very crudely given example, like water vapor. Water vapor, it's subtle, right? We can't see it. But when it is condensed, what happened? We get ice. Similarly, it's not an exact example. I wouldn't claim it to be a very correct example. But grossification means that which is subtle is made into gross, physical, experienceable. So that is Panchikrita, grossification. Okay. So all these 5 elements grossified is the general Samanya Karanam for this body. This is what he says. Okay. Now let us turn to the Visheshaka. And he says Satkarma Janyam. Basically, he says Karma Janyam. Karma Janyam means what? Born out of your karmas. Karmas of that respective jiva. So, while the general cause is this Panchamahabhutas, this Vishesha Karanam, specific cause is the karmas. And that is why each body differs from the other. Each body is born with different attributes. One is a male body, another is a female body. One body is born with all, all the limbs, everything intact. Another body has got congenital diseases, some problem. Why? Why is that happening? We normally tend to blame God. Standard. Why God has done this to me? Isn't it? God doesn't do anything. You have done yourself in your past births which you don't know. God has only given you that result of your past karmas in this birth. Because those karmas which you did have become ripe for fructification, for you to experience that result, good result or bad result. That's all. So it is your own karmas because of which you are what you are. This is the Vishesha Karana for this this body, Stula Sharira. Right? And karma here means what? Punya papas. We should understand karma refers to punyam and papam. Your past accumulated punyam and papam, which have fructified, are the Vishesha Karanam for your present body, what you are having. And they determine whether you are going to have a human body or whether you are going to have an animal body. Even if it is an animal body, which type of an animal? Are you going to be born as a worm or an insect or a bee or a tiger or a dog? A street dog or a dog in a film actor's house? That's also karma only. To be a dog in a film actor's house is better than our lives. Those dogs have got. Swami Paramarthananda says that when we are standing in the bus stop, this dog will be going in a car, air-conditioned car. And the window will be down. And the dog will be looking at us from the window, and his tongue will be out, and it will be as if it is mocking us. Hey, you human being, you see, you are so proud of you being a human being. See, I am a dog and I am enjoying a better life. You are standing in the bus stand for the last 1 hour, no bus is coming. See, I am traveling with a driver, chauffeur-driven car, air-conditioned BMW, I am traveling. So that dog's karma, even though it was born as a dog, it's a very good karma as compared to other dogs that in the film actor's house it is there. So all these are all what? Special karanam, Vishesha Karanam based upon our past punya papas, accumulated punya papas. Right? We will be seeing this law of karma in detail toward the end. The author himself explains law of karma very well. And we will see it in more detail than what the author has explained. A lot of examples and all that. So right now you just need to understand only this much, that the Vishesha Karanam is the Punya Papa of the past births. Not one, but many births. Right? And this karma alone, actually, as I said, determines the condition of the quality of this physical body. Everything. Whether you have got, some, inclination toward developing diabetes or hypertension or any other disease for that matter, everything is karma. But somebody may argue, no, all these are all genetics. Isn't it? That's what science is. It's all genetically determined. Then our question is, what determines? Well, genetics comes from one's parents. What determines that you are going to be born to these parents? Why not some other parents? Why you are born only to this set of parents and get their genes from them? What determines that? Can you answer? Science doesn't go beyond that. Science will say, no, no, it is genetics. But our thing is even the genetics is determined by the karmas only. In fact, Upanishads say that when this Atma leaves this body, it is already decided which other next body it has to take. And that is determined by the karmas, the unfolding karma. Such a detailed explanation is there when we talk about the law of karma. Okay. And we can understand this. You see, for everything there has got to be a special cause, a general cause, and a special cause. Let us take a house, a building. What is the general cause for all buildings? Cement, bricks, mortar, steel, all these are general causes. What is the special cause for every building? The architecture. Even though the general cause is the same for all buildings, two buildings will differ in their shape, size, and in their quality. That is how we have to understand that this body also. The architect here is Parameshwara, who is seeing our karma account, and he has got a super fast computer. He doesn't need to waste time. One minutest second, he will know what is the next body you are getting, and he will make sure that that happens, because the law of karma is his law. He has to make sure that law works, so he will make it happen. So like the architect does that design for the building, here Parameshwara is the architect for our bodies based upon our own karmas, right? So this is how we have to understand the four aspects of the physical body, right? So we have seen the condition, then we have seen we have not seen the function. What all we have saw? We saw the condition of the physical body, which is gross, and then I myself am forgetting what are the four elements, four aspects. Yeah. Condition, nature, cause we are dealing with. Okay, yeah. So that is the cause we have dealt with, both the general cause and the special cause. So everything is karma. Okay.
Start from Sukha Dukkadi Bhoga.
Yeah, and what here the author is emphasizing is that the human body, amongst all the bodies, is a very sacred body. And why sacred? Because in the human body alone, we are able to probe into life. In the human body alone, we can get this Tattva, Bodha, Jnana. Isn't it? No other body can give you this. Because the special feature of the intellect and all that has been fitted into our body by past karmas, right? And that is why the Shastras consider that one needs to have a very high degree of punyam to have this physical human body. And in order to indicate that it is not just punya and papa of the past births which you get this human body, the author uses the word satkarma janyam. So satkarma means punya karmas. So in order to get this human body, we should have had sufficient balance of punya karmas in our account, and that is why we have got this. So satkarma janyam. So even amongst the Vishesha Karanams, which is both punya and papa, the more punya you have got, that is the special cause for us getting a human body. If the papa is more any other type of body, we can say even cockroach body or spider body and all that you can get depending upon the ratio of karma. But for a human body, a high degree of punyam is required. That's why he says satkarma janya. Now let us turn to the function. Cause we have seen, condition we have seen. Let's see to the function of the body. Okay. And author here says this body functions as a temporary abode for the jivatma, for the atma to reside. Atma is what? The real I. That was, you remember. For me, the Paramarthika Satyam, the absolute reality, the one and only reality, Advaita Satyam, for me to reside and transact with this world, I need a body. I need a home. And this body serves as that home. It is just like, suppose a person who is transferred to another city. What is the first thing he will do? Search for a house, rented house. Then only he will go around finding out in that area where he can get gas connection, where are the vegetable shops, where are the grocery shops and all that milk where he will get. First requirement is a home. So similarly, this Atma requires this body first to transact with the world. Without that, the Atma cannot do any transaction. So that is why author is saying, Bhoga ayatanam is the function of this body. Ayatanam means home, abode. Bhoga means experience. So this function of this body is like a home or an abode for the Atma to experience and transact with this world. And that is why this body is fitted with all these, eyes, ears and all that. They are the organs of experience. Through them only we experience the world. So the function, he says, is bhoga ayatanam. Right? So it's a temporary resident. That also we must, it's not a permanent residence for the Atma. Like that fellow who has gone on transfer. He will not buy a house in that town. Why? Because he knows that being maybe he's a banker. I have been a banker, so I know this. Every 3 years he will be transferred. Or people in the army, they can't buy a house in only one place until they reach nearer to their retirement. Then they will know that, okay, after this I will not have any more transfers. So similarly, this body, this human body, physical body, is the ayatanam abode, temporary abode for our Atma to reside and carry out the transactions. Okay. And this Atma knows that after some time, the Atma is sarvagya, it knows everything thanks to Maya. It knows that this body, when exactly which minute, which second this body will fall. We human beings, whenever somebody passes away, we try to find the cause. Why this happened? Suppose somebody has got that dreaded C disease, cancer. That fellow did not drink. He was very pious. He did not smoke. He had no bad habits. How did he get cancer? Questions are all very normal questions. Till yesterday evening, that person was talking so nicely. I spoke to him over phone. 9 o'clock, he has gone for his dinner, had dinner, and then went and lie down in the bed, finished. Why this is happening? Nobody knows. No science can explain, nothing. Only our Shastras can explain. Because number of breaths is counted. This much breaths only you will take. The last breath you have taken, finished. No cause is required. Sitting just like that. I know a person who did his puja in the morning and did the Sastanga Namaskar, did not get up. Passed away in that position itself. See? And we say, oh, such a great person and all that. He passed away when he was doing Namaskar. Nothing great about it. His end came like that. That's all. Right? We tend to find causes and all that and try to, what you can say, equate everything and all. But there is no such thing. It is just karma. When the last breath has to be taken and the body will go. Atma knows this. And it is ready to get out of this body. Go and in search of another body. So that's why it is a temporary abode. And this is exactly what Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinnani naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnanyanyani sanyati navani dehi. This very beautifully explains. He says, this is exactly what you are, Arjuna. Once this time for this physical body is over, it is just like changing your dress. The old dress, vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya. The old torn dress, like what you actually discard and take up, put on a new dress. Similarly, this Atma travels from one body to another body. And there again, also it will take a temporary body only. Even if it is a body of a Mahatma, a Jnani, it will be temporary only. Because eventually that Atma has to go and merge with the Paramatma. That is the ultimate abode, the Paramayanam of that Atma. Right? So all these are temporary. So that is the function of the physical body. So Bhoga Ayatanam, he says, right? Bhoga means experiences, Anubhavam, all Anubhavam through this body. And he qualifies with another phrase, Sukha Dukkha Mishra Anubhava. Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatana. Sukham, understand, sometimes we have Sukham experience. Dukkham experience, we can understand. Other times we have Dukkham experience. How can one have a Sukha and Dukkha experience at the same time? So that's why he uses the word Adi. Sukha, Dukkha, Adi. What does that Adi mean? Adi means mixture of Sukha and Dukkha. So how can a person can have a mixture of Sukha and Dukkha at the same time? Question. I'll give you an example. Suppose a person has got 2 children. Let's say twins. Same date of birth, everything. One and both of them appear in an examination. One child gets high distinction marks. Another child fails miserably in the examination. What will be his experience? Whether it will be Sukha or Dukkha. It will be a mixture of both. That is what he is saying here. So when we look at our experience, I'm reminded of a Tamil song, which I don't know, many of you may not know Tamil. The person, while laughing, he is crying, while crying, he is laughing. It's an old song, rather. Very beautiful wordings are there. So we all may not notice it, but many times we have the same kind of mixed experience also. So this body, when we talk of experience, is not only happy experience and sad experiences, but also mixed experiences. This body is a abode for all these kind of experiences. That's what he says. Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatanam. And what is the nature of this body? Fourth aspect. Right? What he says? He says, Shad vikaravat etat stula shariram. So what is this Shad vikaravat? He says, Asti chayate vardhate viparanimate apakshiyate and vinashyati. 6 modifications of the body. Asti is conception stage. When the body, when the living being is conceived, whether it is conceived in a human body or wherever it is, which other body, living body, is conceived, asti, comes into existence. Then jayate, it is born. Jayate, second modification. Asti first, then second is jayate, born. Then vardhate, third modification, grows. Then viparinamate, it changes its nature. Apakshiyate, declines, starts decaying. Vinashyati, it is dead, it finishes. These are the 6 modifications. And if we can just compare our own life or the life of people whom we have seen, life of even animals, they all undergo these 6 stages. Every body undergoes these 6 stages. Up to, let us say, after birth, let's say that till about 18, 20 years, there is growth period. That is the Vardhate period. Or maybe even little more, you can say, because after some stage, up to one stage, you will grow vertically. After marriage, you will grow horizontally. Isn't it? We have all grown like that. So this growth period goes, it keeps on going, growth, which is Vardhate. Then around 40, 45 years age, that viparinamate starts changing. Slowly changes start coming into the body. Eyesight starts failing, hair starts falling or going grey. This bones, joints and all, pain starts. So this is the change which comes around that stage. Then when you have reached around 60, 65 years, apakshiyate, decline starts. And this declension can take so many characteristics. So many ways declension starts. You're not able to get up from the bed in the morning. You sit at some place for a long time, you can't immediately get up. You have to get up, lose your balance, then you will slowly catch hold of something. All symptoms of declension of the body. It's no longer able to stand straight in a and be in alignment with the center of gravity. That's why many old people, you will see that they will be actually walking zigzag. They require a third leg to walk. All apakshiyate. Then vinashyati, finishes. Dead. So these are the 6 stages. This is the nature of this stula sharira. So we have seen the condition. We have seen the function. Then we have seen the nature of the stula sharira. And what is the 4th one? Now I will ask you to see your notes and tell me. So these are the Shad Vikaravat, 6 modifications of the human body. Right. And what is death? Death is nothing but again a transformation. Because Atma from one body goes to another body, and again it goes through all these 6 stages. But Atma has nothing to do with this body. It is only a resident, temporary resident. So the message that we have to get here is that it is important that we take care of our body. We must respect our body. But getting too much attached with this body is foolishness. This Deha Abhimana, many people have got. It doesn't serve any purpose at the end of the day. What if you have got 6-pack abs and 8-packs abs and all that? So what? That abs are also going to vanish one day. We have seen what happened to that Muhammad Ali, that boxer. I am the greatest fellow. What happened to him in his final stages? So that is why the Shastra emphasizes, like when we are staying in a rented house, we will certainly keep the house neat and clean, functional, and make sure that if there are any a problem like leakage and all that, fix all those things very well. But will we actually go and spend a lot of money in trying to make it into a very beautiful house, construct more room? The landlord will not permit you to do that in any case. We will not, because we know that one day we have to leave this house and go. Or we will only furnish that house with those things of our liking which we can take it with us. Like the Sukshma Sharira, Atma takes it with us. So, the message is that respect your body, but don't give too much importance to it. The more importance you are giving to your body by doing all these kinds of going to gym and all that, eventually you will be going far away from spiritual pursuit, which is what is required. If you have to reach the goal of moksha, what can take you is not a gym or all these yogasanas. They are good to keep your body trim and fit. To that extent, do whatever is required to be done. That is the message. Okay. So this is the anatma number 1. Out of 11 anatmas, we have seen only 1 today. Okay. So we will now go to the anatma number 2. Right. And what is that anatma number 2 deal with? It deals with Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram means subtle body. The body which is there in us, which we cannot see. You cannot see my subtle body, I cannot see your subtle body. And what does that subtle body consist of? Again, we will see all the 4 aspects of the subtle body: condition, cause, function, and nature of its constituents. All these 4 we will see. So the student is asking, Sukshma Shariram Kim? What is this Sukshma Shariram? And here the author is going still further and explaining all the components of the Sukshma Shariram. Let us read. Apanchikrita panchamahabhutaihi kritam satkarmajanyam sukha dukkhadi bhoga sadhanam pancha jnanendriyani pancha karmendriyani pancha pranadayah manaschaikam buddhischaika evam saptadasha kalabhihi saha yattishtati tat sukshma shariram. Very detailed explanation without mixing any word. Okay. So what is this subtle body? The student is asking. What is this subtle body? So he gives this, such a long explanation. Okay. So first let us understand the condition of this body. What he says, Apanchikrita Pancha Mahabhutaihi Kritam. We have seen in detail what is Panchikrita. Subtle body is made of those subtle elements of this Pancha Mahabhutas, which I told you, which are subtle in nature. So the five elements have got two conditions: subtle condition and gross condition. The gross body is from the gross elements, subtle body is from the subtle elements. And being subtle, you can't perceive them, isn't it? You can't see my mind, I can't see your mind. I can't see my mind also. I can see my hands and legs, but my mind I cannot see. My buddhi I cannot see. These are all part of the subtle body. I can see, I can measure the circulatory system, but I cannot see the faculty of circulation. I can only experience it. Anything like that, you see, all our faculties which are there inside, the physiological systems which we have, we can see their effect, but we can't see the cause of that. That is subtle, which is imperceptible. Okay. So here it's a subtle body and which is not tangible, not perceptible. That is the so they are indriya agocharam. They cannot be perceived by any of our five sense organs. Okay. And here he says in this itself that manas chaika, as I told, gave you the example of manas and buddhi. We can't perceive the mind and the buddhi, right? Because sitting here, I can see all your physical bodies, but can I see your mind? I cannot. Some of the physical bodies today, I'm not seeing them also. There are only 18 people. Some people are missing. I think somebody has not marked their attendance anyhow. Please do that. But I can't see your mind. Whether your mind is in the class or somewhere else, I can't see. Physically, I can be able to see your names and your videos. Okay. That's why Swami Paramartha says, to be a teacher, one requires so much of optimism. Right? When he is teaching, he has to assume optimistically that the students are not only physically present, but they are also mentally present in the class and they are enjoying his teaching and all that. So that optimism is there in the teacher. He won't be able to teach with with enthusiasm rather. Okay. Because some students may be thinking, oh my God, such a boring lecture, when it will finish so that I can rush out of this room. Right? Immediately, when the teacher is saying Purnamadam, Purnamadam, switch off this computer and get away. So that also possible. If all those thoughts are there in the mind, teacher cannot see that. That is the subtlety of this, this Sukshma Sharira. Okay. But even though this mind and all is not perceptible to others, one can know what is going on in the mind, isn't it? In fact, many people, when they have high blood pressure, they will sense it. They will know that pressure is high. So it is perceptible to oneself in the sense that one can experience it. But one cannot see it. It's not perceptible to the self. We know my mind is disturbed. I am very sad. All these things we know. But we can't see that element of sadness. We can't touch that sadness with our sense organs. Right? So this is the condition of the subtle body. So it is apanchikrita panchamahabhudaihi krita means that which is not grossified. It is in its original subtle form. They have been put together to make this subtle body, which we all have. Right? And they are also the same, as I said, the panchamahabhudai, the five elements rather. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi. Right. So physical body is born of physical matter, the subtle body is born of subtle matter. So this is the general cause. Okay, almost time. So we will continue with the special cause. Satkarma Janyam here also. I don't need to explain it long because you already explained. But we'll see it in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all.
Thank you so much,
Namaskaram.
Guruji.
Any
Namaskar.
questions are there?
Guruji.
Raghuji, I have a question.
Hmm?
Can I ask, please?
Please go ahead.
As you explain, I'm thinking the jiva or the atma is the experience, or it is abode. It's this body is the its residence. Is it the jiva here is said as atma or jivatma? I mean that I'm just thrown off. You said atma. Right?
But what is Jivatma and all we will study later.
I know.
So you take Jivatma. The
Or
physical
do I say
body is the abode for the Jiva.
jiva?
And
No,
the subtle body is the instrument with which the Jivatma experiences and transacts
Experience.
with the world.
Okay. So
This is
can
the
we
difference.
should we say jiva or jivatma, or should I say plain atma?
Jiva, Jivatma, both are same. Plain
Okay.
Atma also you can call.
But then,
very.
but when you say it takes another body, it's not traveling, right? Because it's all pervading. Atma, as you said, it's not traveling. It goes from one body to another body. What does it mean?
Yeah, we will come to all that. It's too early for me to explain all that.
Okay.
We
I
will
know
come to
I've
all
heard that,
yeah.
But yes, okay, all right. That's what I just wanted to make sure.
That
Okay.
is why we don't call it Atma normally. We call it Jivatma. Okay.
Oh, that's what.
Even
That's the
Jivatma,
reason.
I don't want to confuse you people.
So basically, then jiva would be right?
Sarva Vyapi. It can't travel, right?
Yes. So is
But
it okay
Jivatma
to say?
travels.
Yes, that's what.
So
Is
what
it
is
okay
this
to say?
Jivatma? We'll come to
So
all
is it-
that.
Okay,
In
so
fact,
but
there is a beautiful chart and all I will be giving you,
yes,
which will explain all these things.
Yes,
Everything. We
okay.
have to understand, because see, that is why this is a very highest level of knowledge.
yes.
So many things are there to understand in this.
Mhm.
And we have to go step by step. Let us first
Yes.
focus. Let us first focus on the Vyashti Vichara. Right now, that's what we are doing. What is the
Yes.
individual components of the individual? Right.
I get it, but I was just, as you are explaining, this confusion that jiva or jivatma or plain
Very
jiva.
valid. Your
Okay.
question is in fact a very, very important question. But
Okay.
this is not the time to answer, because if I answer you now, the other students may get confused.
Okay. I'll wait. Okay. Thank you. Dhanyawada. I'll wait. No, I was just curious. Okay.
Any other question?
Guruji, one question.
Yeah.
What is the time lag between the Atma leaving one body and getting into another?
You see, there is no information about this in the Shastras. What we have to actually understand is, since the other next body has to come out of the karmas, punya papas of the past janmas, accumulated punya papas, whenever that accumulated punya papas are maturing, like a fixed deposit matures, when they are maturing, at that time only that next body will be taken. Now, we can't even see, we can't have any record of what the punya papas are and when they are maturing. It's not necessary all punya papas have got the same maturity period. Some punya papas will mature within this life itself.
Okay.
Some punya papas will be carried forward to the next life. Some punya papas will require a specific type of body, like a dog body or a cat body, or or a devata body, for to be exhausted. So we cannot say how much time, and that is why when we talk about our pitris, this question many people ask. See, your father has died some 50 years ago, you are still doing Shraddha. What if he has already, that Atma has taken another body, then why you are giving this Shraddha? Right? Now, this what if questions are all rationalists can ask what if questions. If you ask the same question to them, what if not, they won't have an answer.
No answer.
So our Shastra is a very safe approach. And a Shastra's approach is not that, see, two ways. From a Vedanta angle, when you are performing these karmas, whether it is Pitri karma or even Devata karma and all, it is called karma yoga. You are getting a benefit out of it which you cannot see. Shastra makes you do this karma for you to get the benefit. And that benefit, we may say that it is blessing of the forefathers and all that. We may explain that benefit in so many ways, but actually that benefit is accumulating to you in your Punya Papa account. And also it is giving you more and more Chitta Shuddhi, these karmas, when you do with a, and Shraddha karma is actually a Paropakara karma. So there's an elaborate thing Shastra has built around that. You have to give this pindam, you have to give water. That is how it will reach those people, those pitris and all that, So Shastra says that you don't worry about when the next birth will take and all that. Keep doing what you have been asked to do. Whenever it is there, when you die, after all, nobody will be there to do that. So at that time, you can assume that no more is required. That's all. So it is Shastra nowhere talks about the time period, because it is determined by a very complicated operation of this law of karma. And when we come to that topic, you will understand how complicated this law of karma is. But without understanding law of karma, you cannot understand Vedanta.
No, in this context, when we do the Pitrakaryam, say for 10 days or 12 days, they say the Atma does not leave the premises where he had lived.
They are said in the Shastras, and mainly because the Atma is so attached that it doesn't want to leave. Right? So all this is said, but as I said, this is all said in the Vedas, that this is what happens, and in the in Puranas and all, Garuda Purana and all talks about all these things.
Correct.
But for us, as Vedantins, we don't need to worry about all that. Our aim is what? Get self-knowledge and get relieved from this cycle of rebirth. That is our selfish motive here.
Not under our control again.
No, it isn't very much under our control, provided we do everything that the Shastras ask us to do in the right manner.
As prescribed.
As prescribed. Perfectly, you have to do that. And it is possible. People have done it. The Swami Dayananda Saraswati has done it. So many people have done. So they are all Mahatmas, they have actually, of course, we don't have a proof, but we can believe if what they have done as a Mukta Purusha while they were living, so they would not have had a rebirth. They would have merged with the totality. Individuality would have merged with the totality. This much we can safely assume. Safely assume, based on what the Shastra says.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Guru. Thank you.
Guruji, I have a silly question.
Okay, don't call it silly,
First, hear the question, you will feel it. The Jivatma, but some people talk about Pretatma. Is there anything like that?
See, all this Pretatma. See, the Atma goes in search of another body, we know, right?
Yeah.
Now, whether that goes in search in and around your house, or in jungles, or in graveyards and all that, or in cremation grounds, nobody knows.
No, can you call that as also an asma?
See, Preth means what? That which doesn't have a physical body. That is a Preta. So you can call it Pretatma. Actually speaking, there are three elements which go out of this physical body. You must understand that. So it's
Mind.
not just Atma alone. The subtle body which we have got, which we are talking about right now, discussing, that subtle body also goes out. Karana Shariram,
Correct.
the causal body also goes out. So three things, the Jivatma, the subtle body and the causal body. All these three go out of this physical body, after which this physical body is a ruin. It has to be burnt or buried. No use. This is physical. It will actually start stinking. Only as long as these things are there in the physical body, as an abode, your physical body is what you are, functioning, not stinking and all. The moment they leave, that moment the rotting starts. So these three things we are talking about, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram and Jiva, they leave the body and go. Now, whether you call it Pretatma, whether you call it Jivatma in search of another one, another body, it's all nomenclatures. But Pretam means what? That which doesn't have a physical body is a Pretam.
Okay.
So all this, what that is, films and all, horror films and all, they show all that kind of thing. Good entertainment.
Yeah.
But Shastras, at least our Vedas and all, don't talk about, this roaming around in this world. Because the Shastra says the journey from this Bhuloka of all the departed souls is to the Pitruloka. Right? So there's no question of those jivas roaming around in the Bhuloka. If at all you have to go and search for them, you have to search for them in the Pitruloka. All that is there. Anyhow, they're all very entertaining topics. But Shastra doesn't talk about these things in detail. Puranas are there. Puranas talk about all these things. But Shastra, Vedas don't talk. To the best extent, I know. I don't know full Vedas and all that. I don't claim to be. To the best of my knowledge, they don't talk about all these things. And I have not heard these things from any of my gurus, so I can't tell you also.
Suddenly the question cropped up.
Yeah, I can understand. That's why the Bhoot Pret and all. I told you now one interesting. One lady, when I was conducting classes in Coimbatore, I was, I think probably the Kathopanishad I was teaching. So this lady got heard that I was teaching Kathopanishad. She was interested in learning Kathopanishad. And then she came and asked me whether I can attend your class. I said, okay, come in here. I had actually gone far ahead. But I said, if she's interested, let her come and sit. After sitting for about half an hour, when I was talking about this Atma and all that, she went away. Then she didn't even take my permission to go. She just opened the door and went away. Then she seems to have gone around and told people that I went to his class. He's talking something very, this thing, some Atma and all that he's talking. I got started shivering by hearing all those Atma word and all that. I came away from the class. So for many people, the moment you say Atma, they imagine or visualize some, ghosts and things like that. Such people are there. So all this Pretatma, all these nomenclatures are all coined, by such people. Ghost, spirit, legs will not be touching the ground, white color, and films also add. Huh?
It will sing song also.
Song also, yes. Kahi Deep Jale, what someone sang, some Hindi film song. One white lady without legs, with white sari, with hair all opened up, with one lamp in the hand, and she float in the air and go and all that. When we see as children all these things, we tend to believe all these things are real. Right. So,
can I say something, Guruji?
Yeah.
When I was reading life stories of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, there in those works, they have mentioned that they gave moksha to some of the pretatmas which were kind of not finding moksha for a long time. I don't know how. I cannot relate to that topic at all. So I thought.
Well, I also can't say because see, many times what happens is many stories and all, just to glorify those people, many stories come up, right? And they are all added by later people. They themselves, I don't think, would have claimed in their life that I did this, except for some other religions, they claim that, so and so did this, miracles and all that they performed and all that. We don't believe, Vedantins, we don't believe anything in any miracle. There is no miracle in this world. Everything happens driven by law of karma. There is nothing accident. Everything is an incident. Even an accident is an incident, which is predetermined by the certain, combination of certain past actions or the results of past actions. Everything happens now. So whether somebody has got this power to free or give moksha, what is the moksha they are talking about? If they are talking about moksha going to Vaikuntha, we don't consider that to be moksha at all. Our moksha is liberation. Our moksha is aikyam of individual jiva with the Paramatma. Jivatma, Paramatma, aikyam is the moksha we talk about. So where is the question of giving, moksha to somebody else? So all these stories, so many stories, even Adi Shankara, so many stories are there. There is these stories cannot be verified. So we just have to see, okay, entertain ourselves with all those stories, but we should not go too deep and research into it. We'll be wasting our time.
Thank you, Guruji.
That's all of these Mahatmas. Anything else?
Okay. Thank you, Raghu.
Thank you. Right then, we'll
Thank
catch
you.
up next week, next
Thank
Saturday.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.